Welcome in, everybody, to the Country Roads Air Duct Cleaning Mountaineers Now postgame show. I'm Schuyler Callihan. That is Christopher Hall. The Mountaineers falling 77-63 out in Norman to the Oklahoma Sooners. A quick rundown here of the numbers. Pat Sumnick was fighting an illness. He was questionable going into the day. He ended up being cleared, played pretty well considering the circumstances. 9 points, 7 boards, a couple of steals. Noah Farrakhan with 14 points on 6 of 11 shooting from the field. And then Jalen Moore led the way for Oklahoma with 16 points and 5 rebounds. But really the difference in this one, once again, Chris, is just the points in the paint, the outpower or the overpowering of bigs in the middle there. It's just been one thing after another. In terms of defending the paint. And I just don't know that they're going to be able to find an answer or a cure to that until Jesse Edwards gets back. But to me, that was really the difference in this one. That and Oklahoma shooting 66% in the second half. That's typically going to lose you a bunch of games.
Yeah, and I mean Oklahoma is one of the better team rebounders in the league, and you saw it on tonight with the guard led them with 10 rebounds. He had double. He had 10 second half points as well. Really rebounding and just careless turnovers. They won the turnover battle per se. Even scored more points off turnovers. But when you're up 6 and you turn the ball over 3 straight times and 2 of them were for fast, open court layups, and start the second half pretty much the same way. You're not going to win a lot of games like that, especially in the Big 12 and on the road when you just give up 3 points. And probably the points in the paint probably are bad, but probably 12 of those were all fast break point turnovers at least. So got to fix that. Obviously, they just played poorly. You needed another team effort on the glass and didn't get it, and just slowed. Very slow offensively, and that's not what they played like Saturday. So it's not a surprise that they didn't put consecutive games together, but it's a little surprising that it was that far off from what we saw Saturday.
Yeah, it was night and day. I mean, looked really in a groove offensively against Texas, and then tonight was just helter skelter. I mean, just throwing the ball all over the damn place. And I mean, Oklahoma was doing it too. I mean, 35 combined turnovers in this game. And I think that's probably another thing too. I mean, you just mentioned it. They did outscore Oklahoma in points off of turnovers, but I mean, for them to only get the amount of points off of the turnovers that they had, that's concerning too. I mean, they didn't take advantage of the extra opportunities. And for a team, when you're on the road, you're already shorthanded. Sumnick, you're only somewhat of a center, is playing not at 100%. You need to have those things go your way. But Oklahoma, I mean, they were disjointed in the first half. I mean, they went through that one little dry spell there where felt like they didn't score in an hour and a half. And then all of a sudden they go on a quick mini 8-0 run, and that's where really the game changed. And West Virginia, I don't think ever rebounded. That was just a tough little swing there. And the second half, I think they kind of figured some things out offensively, but all the little things that happen to teams, with their full complemented roster, you can get over some of the things that happen, like the Noah Farrakhan thing for me. That's something that probably not a lot of people are talking about. He has the big crazy dunk, right? And then he gets the technical right after that. You can't afford to have those types of things happen when everything's going against you in the first place. And then you just turn the momentum right back into Oklahoma's favor. You give them opportunities at the charity stripe. You just can't have those things happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible call, and that's just kind of how the night went. I mean, Ofri got technical or whatever it was for
Oh, the flop at the end. My goodness.
running next to him. So they were both horrendous calls. I mean, what are you going to
Yeah.
do? Just that kind of night. And they're just not good enough to overcome it. When things aren't going well, it's a team like last year. We saw it under Huggins when the officials aren't on their side per se, or the 50-50 calls aren't going their way. They get frustrated and it leads to bad plays. And that's what just continue to see it. It's been that trend for West Virginia basketball for quite some time, really since the Javon Carter era, and especially the way they've kind of transitioned. They did it under Huggins, where it was more offensive players. When things aren't going their way, they kind of shrink in the moment. So gonna have to figure something out. I don't know if, either can probably fix it, but it's not going to happen in months. So you can't let things like that dictate the rest of the night. You just got to continue to play and continue to battle. And it's just really been the same thing for we're going on 5 years now.
Yeah.
If you're not getting the calls, you're not getting the calls. You can't just stop and just give up. 6 rebounds in the second half. I posted that. There's 3 minutes left. They had 6 rebounds. So in the last 3 minutes, they didn't even get another rebound. Um, that's a team that
Not
quit.
helping yourself out.
No, it's a team that quit right there. So 19 rebounds. They got 33. They had, I believe, yeah, 10 offensive rebounds. They had six. I know at one point Oklahoma had 6 offensive rebounds in the second half alone. So they had matched them on offensive rebounds in the second half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think too, like we talked about it all non-conference seemingly about how like who's going to be this next player that steps up and be that kind of at the time the premier score before they got Kerr back and they had Raekwon in the mix, Farrakhan, no, who played well tonight. But I mean, you look at some of these guys, Kerr and Raekwon specifically, and it just looks like they're pressing. It looks like they're trying to figure things out and do too much of their own. You know, Raekwon's taken a lot of contested shots, a lot of shots that he probably shouldn't be taking, but to some degree, you can't really blame him because he knows he's got to be the one that scores the ball. And then Kirk Risa, I mean, like I've said a couple of games ago, I've been disappointed by Kirk. I don't know if it's just a system thing, if it's a chemistry thing, if it's because he didn't get to play in non-conference. I don't know, but they need to get more out of Kirk Risa offensively. 4 points and 4 assists, that's not going to cut it.
No, he struggled, and some of that has to do with just the guys around him. And when guys get up on the guards off the ball or the forwards, it's not there when it should be, and he just misreads it momentarily, and it causes a turnover.
Yeah.
No room for error at this level. It's just they just pretty much reverted back to who they were before Texas, and is it another wake up call? We'll see. Been saying the same thing kind of for years now. Like I don't know how many more bad examples you need to kind of figure it out. It's a team thing. Everyone has to buy in. Everyone bought in Saturday, and it just seemed like everybody today, whether it was the travel, they did take 10 hours of travel yesterday. Didn't get to practice really yesterday, so maybe that was part of it. Uh, but I mean, teams are going to go through this all year long. I see other teams that do hit similar adversity at that point. Granted, they probably played together, but again, you can't go from Saturday to this. So
No.
I mentioned it Saturday that the film's going to be out on what they did successfully. Will they be able to adjust? Porter's a very good coach, and he adjusted well. The scout really is out on this team. If you got the athletes, just go put pressure on the ball,
Yeah.
because they can't really get off ball screens. They really don't know how to do things off the ball. It's a problem in college athletics everywhere.
There's not a
Um,
whole lot of self creation either. Like they've got to,
No, they don't. They don't. I mean, there's no real concept. So a lot of it's just not being able to practice together and figure it out and how each other work. And some of it is just forcing the issue, and some of it is just sloppy play. So poor
yeah.
fundamentals.
I mean, things can't get any tougher, right? Oh yeah, wait, Saturday they play Kansas. So yeah, this will get interesting. But hey, it is a chance. And as I said before, I think after the game on Saturday against Texas, look, Kansas has had some really good teams coming to Morgantown over the years and lost some games they probably shouldn't have. And you know, West Virginia fans they get into this game every single year. So crazier things have happened. But if you can find a way to beat Kansas, I mean, hey, you win 2 out of your last 3 against ranked opponents. You got to feel pretty good about yourselves. You're going to lose some games on the road. It's going to be tough to do in this league. But the schedule does lighten up a little bit because after Kansas, you have Oklahoma State, which is going to be sandwiched around 2 of the newcomers, UCF and Cincinnati, who are playing somewhat decent right now, but they're still going to be
UCF
adjusting.
just won again tonight, I believe. They just
Did
beat
they
another
really?
top.
Okay.
Yeah, they just beat another a ranked team. So
So there
just
you have it. Big 12 basketball, baby.
uh,
So West Virginia losers once again, 77-63. They are now 6-11 on the season. They'll be back in action at the Coliseum this Saturday at 4 o'clock, tipping off against number 3 Kansas. And you can catch that one on ESPN. Plus, if you're not in the building for that one, we'll have the post-game coverage. Chris will be live from the Coliseum. And that'll do it for us here tonight. West Virginia 77-63 on the wrong end of this one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Mountaineers Now and give us a like as well. For Christopher Hall, I'm Schuyler Callihan. You've been watching the Country Roads Air Duct Cleaning Mountaineers Now post-game show. We'll see you back here in a couple of days.